God, it's Friday. Welcome to your new family. It's the Owaze Show with your hosts Fire and TG every Friday from 6 to 8 p.m.
The best music, entertainment, spicy topics, and so much more.
Owaze, let's spice it up. Yo, welcome to the Owaze Show. What's up, what's up, what's up?
Hi.
Happy Friday.
Happy New Year, too.
Right?
We're only a couple of weeks.
This is our first show after the New Year.
Is it?
Last week we weren't here.
And yeah. Because I'm like, I feel like I didn't wish them a Happy New Year.
We didn't.
Happy New Year, people.
Hey, y'all. Happy 2015. We're back here this Friday on the Owaze Show.
Happy Friday, TGIF. Honestly, looking forward to this weekend. I'm going to just do what I always do and not leave my house. But still, I'm excited about this weekend.
TJ hasn't been feeling well, guys, for some time.
I've been going through it. It's been a very interesting 2 weeks, I believe. I haven't left my house since I left the Friday 2 weeks ago.
No way.
Yeah, so I've been at home until today.
What?
Yeah.
I hope you're feeling better, baby.
I'm okay. I'm good. Like, you can hear it in my voice just a tiny little bit.
Yeah.
I still have remnants of my cold.
You're really, really keeping it together as best as you can.
You know, I was excited about coming here today, and I just woke up and started getting ready so early. The babe was like,
what are you doing?
You need to relax. You're not leaving for another 4 hours.
I get it, because I'm the same way as TG. If I have to go somewhere, if I don't get ready early, I ain't getting ready now. At all.
Yeah.
So we're really happy to be back, guys. Again, it's Friday, and we figured that we would do a fun show for today's topic.
I think today's topic is another one of those shows where you get to know a little bit more about us and how our brains function. One of the fun things that we like to talk about is men and women and our interactions with each other.
Our differences, what makes us tick.
Our patterns when it comes to relationships and dating and things that we've learned.
Oh boy.
In our brief encounters with that world.
And we are constantly learning more about each other, even when we talk. Me and TJ have known each other for about 5 years. Or it's exactly 5 years. Wow. And so when we just even have conversations, I'm like, word? Really? Like, that's you?
Yeah, same. Yeah. She has a crazy life, you guys, and stuff happens to her that I find very hard to wrap my brain around. I'm like, you should write a book.
Thinking about it.
I feel like you should write a book. That's just what my instincts tell me. But this is another one of the topics that we get into it when we're in private by ourselves.
Yeah.
It's another one of the fun things that we like to talk about. So today we're going to be talking about the whole bad boys, good girl, bad girl, good guy dynamic.
Oh, God.
I'm seeing a lot more, not bad girl, but like narcissistic girl, good guy relationships lately.
And I hate that. I hate narcissistic any partner.
True.
It's like watching a train wreck.
It is.
But me and TG, I think we've had the same experience with men in the sense that we are the fixer.
Yeah.
We
Bob
have
the Builder. It's
exactly.
Fix It Felix.
And so, Fix It Felix. So today we want to just talk about what it is that, guys like about, I don't know, good girls, bad girls, or what it is about girls liking bad guys and our experiences. Because we always are honest on this platform.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure that guys are like, girls don't like nice guys.
That's not true.
First of all, the self-proclaimed nice guys are the literal worst.
Because you're faking it.
That's a lie. You're being nice, assuming you'll get something in return. That's not nice. That's just manipulation.
100%.
I don't know if nobody's told you you're not nice. You're just trying to manipulate your way into somebody's life.
But also, the actual nice guys, like, don't be lame either. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's be real. They're like, oh, but I'm nice, but, the girls don't like me. No.
You're not nice.
You ain't nice. And second of all, you know what I mean? I feel like you can't really point the finger at other people unless you're really doing everything in your power to be the best version of yourself.
Yeah. If you have, if you have a motivation to be nice, like, if you're not being nice for the sake of human interaction, and if you're being nice just hoping a girl would notice you or hoping that one of these days she'll start to date you, then you have a motive. You're being nice for a motive. You're trying to make sure that you show a side of yourself that person will like. You're not necessarily nice. You're around and giving her what she wants until she picks you. That's not a nice person. Nice people don't do things with hopes of getting something in return. Yeah.
For me, even the guys who I genuinely believe are nice are also not, how do I say this? They eat well, you know what I mean? They're taking care of themselves. They're traveling, like, you know what I mean? When you're literally living your life and you're just a good person, things will fall into place. Yeah. But it's never those guys that complain, honestly speaking.
Because they're good.
You're like, they're good inherently.
They're fine.
We're going to talk about just our experience of not necessarily always picking the best guys.
Yeah, no, I love me some bad boys. At least I did. I have some I'm sure you have some stories too.
Absolutely.
Now I think about it and I'm like, I want to hit myself in the head for this.
Honestly speaking,
this is the stupidest
things. And yes, we're going to tell you guys our embarrassing moments pertaining to this, what we used to like, where we are now, all of it. And for those of you tuning in, don't judge us.
Join in, because
we want you to join in.
You know you like.
You might laugh and probably even see yourself in some of these stories that we tell too.
Mm-hmm. I think at the end of the day, we're going to leave with everybody likes toxicity. At a certain level, everybody's, as long as you have unhealed trauma, a part of you will always be attracted to toxic.
It's like people saying, "Oh, I want my partner to just be a little bit jealous,
just a little toxic.
It's just a little good."
It's nice.
Oh God,
spicy.
We're going to talk about it throughout this entire show. Make sure to not only tune in and just join us, but also make sure to hit us up on our Telegram at Awaze Media. That's AWAZE MEDIA. You guys can also find us on all our social media as well as our YouTube under the same name. Let's get to a
bad boy trap.
You know what? That's what we're gonna get to, and we'll be back after the musical break. Don't go anywhere.
Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to your new family. It's the Awaze Show with your hosts Fire and TG every Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. The best music, entertainment, spicy topics, and so much more. Awaze, let's spice it up.
What it do, guys? Welcome back to the Awaze Show here on ABC 104.7.
Goodness gracious.
So we're talking about on today's show, if the song didn't sort of illustrate it for you guys, about liking bad boys, about guys liking bad girls, all of that. This whole toxic perception of thinking that these relationships are good for us when in turn they're really destroying us, and coming to terms of understanding that and where we are today.
Yeah, so psychology today says that the whole bad boys, quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes over here like you guys can see me, the whole bad boys, the way that psychology explains it, is being hyper masculine. It's men that kind of ooze testosterone, which it kind of makes them come off as bold or exaggeratedly like attractive or sexy.
Yeah.
And they might not even be conventionally attractive. It's the thing that you call a BDE. Them BDEs are them troubles. But it could also be associated with a rebellious personality or somebody that's emotionally unavailable.
Ooh, say the last word again.
Emotionally unavailable.
You know what's interesting about that term is the fact that I've dated a lot of emotionally unavailable men, but people are like, oh, you only dated men like that because you're emotionally unavailable. Otherwise, why would you keep dating people who, if you dated somebody emotionally available, it's because equally you are.
Yeah.
You are mirroring the type of person that you are. That's what you are dating. You're dating essentially you emotionally. I was like, what? I want someone to love me. What are you talking about?
Personally, I think it's me. The reason I went for emotionally unavailable is childhoods. Once again, here we are back at our childhoods. My dad, we talk about them a lot, was a very emotionally unavailable person.
Yeah.
He wanted love but he didn't want to give it necessarily.
Yes.
So it was all about him, what he wanted, what he felt like my entire world revolved around making sure he was happy and he was content and he was okay and he had everything he needed.
Yeah.
So growing up in that type of neglect where you don't ever feel a reciprocated love back, I think it creates this need for you to seek out more people like that and prove to yourself that you are lovable. And you pick a challenge.
And that's the one, Pikachu.
Boy, do we pick the challenges. So yeah, I definitely went for aloof. Like, so my first boyfriend, he was, oh God, it sounds so stupid now. So I also had this little hip hop scene where, you know, we all did music when I'm in. So he was slightly famous in Awasa.
Okay.
Nowhere else, just there. And there was damn near a myth about this guy, about who he was and about how, but I don't know how these rumors started or how these conversations started, but the whole town looked at him like he was special. Okay? Keep that in mind, okay?
Okay.
And they really put him up on a pedestal. So when women approached him, I literally saw it with my own eyes. 2 girls after a show came up and started talking to him, and halfway through the conversation he left. Like, as they were talking to him, he was like, I'm not doing this, and walked away.
What?
So now this me is like, that is completely rude and offensive, and you can just be like, hey, I have to leave or something. Like, you could see the girls' faces of them being like, what was that?
Right.
So he was that guy. That's the first person I decided to date is this damn near mythical creature. To this day, I go back home and I hear stories about him, and I'm like, who told y'all this was real? Like, who gave you the impression this is who he was? Me getting to know him, he was all right. Like, it was nothing special. Yes, he thought very highly of himself, but it was nothing special. And that to me, that was intriguing at the time.
The fact that he was perceived as like this mystical creature.
And you're like,
what is this?
This doesn't make any sense, but okay, I'll go with it. He like seems to play the part very well.
Right.
And I had friends and I had people like Ruddy around me being like, you have eyes, yes? Like, you see him. You see the same thing I see. What are you doing?
Right.
But I couldn't listen. I could not. And at first he was nice enough at least. I was very surprised that somebody like that even paid attention to me, which is another one of the things that gets us ladies, is you have this opinion of a person that they're like outside of your league or just magnanimous or too big. And the second they give you this like crumbs of attention, you start to become addicted to it because you feel like you're special. So the second part that you deal with is your ego and your sense of self, where you really want to convince yourself that you're special, and you really want to convince yourself that out of all the women, you are the one that could get him to act right. And he could be a bad boy, but with you,
he's a good guy. It's so stupid, bro. I hate this. I hate this.
Now we can say that with confidence, but I promise you the number of ladies, babies, listen, like focus for a second. Please bear with us.
This was us. We're not trying to sit here and act like we're above it all. We were not.
We're not. And there is a genuine like attractiveness about them to this day. Regardless, you'll see one of them and you'll be like, ooh, okay.
Now I gotta be careful.
I see you, sir. Excuse me.
I see it from a mile away.
Yeah.
And the amount of times the universe is like, did you learn yet? Did you? Because you will learn this lesson again.
Yeah.
And the consequences will be even worse until you get it.
Yeah.
So I see these guys from a mile away and I'm like, no, I learned my lesson, universe. No more karma. For me, I had a dad who was, unlike my mom, my dad was affectionate. My mom was not the affectionate one.
That's interesting.
My mom did not tell me she loved me until I was 18.
Wow.
I had that kind of mama. My mama was like, I put food on,
I feed y'all,
on the table.
Clothe y'all.
I clothe you guys. I get you whatever you need. That's love. I don't need to tell you I love you. What? I don't need to hug you. I don't need to kiss you. Like, you see my actions. I love you. So my dad was the one who would hug us and he'd be like, I love you. Like,
I've never hugged my dad. I'm 27.
and like for me, I hugged my dad younger. I remember younger me. As I got older, that affection was no longer directed towards me. It was towards my sisters. But my dad was affectionate as a father. Let me put it out there. Even if it wasn't necessarily directed towards me. He was the father that would say sorry, even if he was terrible. At some point, his guilt would come towards him. He'd be like, I'm sorry. And then he'd be good to you. This is the kicker. He'd be good to you and he would be nice. And out of nowhere, a mood swing where he'll just not talk to you, just ignore you, and completely treat you like you're invisible. And you're like, what did I do? And you're trying to buy his affection until he starts to notice and love you. Imagine, I had this kind of a father. So it's like a whiplash. You don't know when you are good or when you're not good. So for me, being with guys like that who were cold and hot, I was like, okay, well, I have to try to win their love. I have to try to do what I can, you know, to stay on their good side, because to me, that's what love looks like, because that's the kind of father I had. And so when I dated these kind of bad guys who were like cool and, you know what I mean, just mysterious and all that, I'm like, oh. And then when they fall into that kind of cold and hot switch, that's when you keep me like on a loop. I won't get out of it because I didn't realize, oh, I know this play. We've been in this rehearsal before. You know what I mean? It wasn't something that I understood until I got much older. Yeah. So those are the kind of guys I attracted. And unfortunately, like I said, universe is like, hey, dummy, did you get it yet? And I would get those same lessons again and again. I don't like bad guys anymore, but I realized that as I got older, I was still attracting guys who were emotionally unavailable. That was my issue. As opposed to bad guys, they were just emotionally unavailable. And again, trying to win their affection was the roots of everything for me. Yeah. So now I'm at a big ass age.
My grown age.
I don't gotta learn those lessons anymore. Hopefully, I think I've gotten a lot better and smarter with this.
Yeah. I agree. I think at the end of the day, that is what we try to do. We try to prove to ourselves that the type of affection and love that you needed, especially when you're a lot younger, if you didn't have parental figures around you that raised you in an environment of love and being validated and, you know, being seen, being given affection to, I think most of us grow up to try and seek it out in everybody we meet and everybody we encounter. And so we talk about this all the time. So much of our personality is based on what your childhood was like. Honest to God,
100%.
So you can fall for bad guys in one of two ways. Either you're naive, and that hurts me the most. Like, that's sad to see. Even when I was attracted to, you know, bad guys and I was dating bad guys, I wasn't necessarily naive. I knew something about you was not right. Like, deep down, I know this is messed up, but it was sort of like a competition with myself to just be like, I can do this. I can get this. I can get this person's affection. And whatever you couldn't get out of your parents, you try to get that from a romantic partner.
Oh, yeah.
Messed up. Believe me, wrong. But it can be dangerous, too, because there's levels to bad boys. There's degrees.
What are those degrees?
So it could just be a run-of-the-mill, uppity, like, I work out a lot and I'm all serious bad guy. And that's, you know, maybe he's emotionally unavailable, but one of these girls is going to get him to act right someday. But there is the type that's like the trifecta. So one part, they have this grandiose view of themselves. We talked about this when we did our narcissist episode. It's that I'm larger than life. The whole world revolves around me type of mentality, which we're attracted to. That's how people end up in cults. That stuff is attractive. That stuff draws people in. And you look at a cult and you're like, can never be me.
And don't say that. It can be anybody.
So yeah, a grandiose personality definitely has a way of convincing you that they are a god, that they are, you know, amazing. And they can also be very callous and prone to exploiting others, which is
manipulation.
Yeah, it's kind of dangerous in its own ways, where I feel like I wasn't ready for a lot of things, to experience a lot of things. And I was either manipulated or forced into them because I didn't want to lose this person. and I felt like I wouldn't get your approval or affection if I didn't do what you needed me to do. So at a very young age, I was convinced to take part in things that now I'm like, you didn't deserve that. You didn't, like, I'm worth more than that. Like, I should have been treated better than that. But I was young and I was stupid and you took advantage. Fair enough, bro. Like, I see you. Okay.
What would you say, pertaining to the time when you were attracted to these kind of men? What were some characteristics that you were like, he has to have this, or he's not the type of bad guy that I'm attracted to?
So, what I like about them.
What was it characteristics he had to have?
For me to be attracted to them?
Be drawn in. Because there's some things that you're like, if he doesn't fall under this list, then it doesn't.
I think closed off at the end of the day. They laugh with people and they'll have, a lot of people around them. But then if the type of person that doesn't communicate their feelings to anybody but me.
Oh.
Child.
That was it.
Say my name. Yeah, the type of person that just seems nice and like not as friendly, but very cool with everybody, very chill, keeps it very like, you guys know the type I'm talking about. Like, they're not necessarily mean, but they're not very easy to get close to either.
They're a little cold.
Yeah. So you tell me one personal thing about you that you don't casually tell other people. Honey, I'm there. Whatever you need, I got you. I feel this like responsibility for all the emotions they don't express. And I feel like I need to be around when they express it. I need to catch it. It's mine. I want it. So that was me. That was the thing about bad guys that I loved with two of my previous relationships, with the long ones at least. I knew these people weren't ish. I knew it too. But they'll come and they'll be like, this is happening with my family, or I went through this when I was a kid and I was really hurt, and it's affected me in this way. All of a sudden, in my head, I'm a therapist. I can fix this. I got this. I know what went wrong. So I already have, like, tools.
Right.
Like, I tried to figure them out so bad.
Oh,
it's
my
so
goodness.
Embarrassing. What about you?
For me, a characteristic that I had to see right off the bat is that you are the leader of the pack. You are the alpha male.
Yeah.
That you are the bad one that leads other people to badness. You know what I mean? That
the lead bad guy.
The lead bad guy. You can't be the follower bad guy. You got to be the one that's bad, and everybody else is like, well, I turned against my good ways because of this person's influence.
I swear.
I know it sounds bad. That's the point. And again, the fact that he was the leader of the pack, but there was a bit of rebel, like lone wolf energy, where it's like, yes, everybody follows him, but he has like this loner energy where he's just like, I'm a wounded soul, have my dark side. Like, no one understands me. Like, that is what I loved. And if he didn't have those characteristics, I'm like, but are you really a bad guy? And then I'm like, yeah. So unfortunately, I was really drawn to that. I don't care about the whole...
You're right, too. I get it. Like, I understand. I completely am right there with you.
Right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't just looking apart. Like, you could look like the good guy, but it's like... mentality-wise, those were the things that I did not compromise on. And I don't know where I got that from. Every single guy that I've dated has been that. Yeah. If he's not that, I'm not attracted to him. Yeah. It's a sickness,
and they all, even the characters you mentioned, I, like, while you're talking, I'm visualizing it in my head. I'm like, yes, they had a lot of friends, they had a lot of admirers, they had a lot of people with them.
Yeah.
But you would also see them, like, stray off and be by themselves and be all quiet and, like, mysterious.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder what's going on.
Exactly.
It's the dumbest thing.
It's so dumb.
Thing. And
where does this come from, though?
We'll talk about it when we come back. But part of growing up, as like we said, we're still attracted to the typical quote-unquote bad guy. Because there's something physically attractive about their energy.
A refined version.
Yeah,
can you say that?
No, I'm still attracted to, like, ain't-ish
okay, it's one thing to be attracted, but you won't go for those kind of guys anymore.
Of course
you
not.
can see them from afar and be like, I admire you.
Yes, I think you're hot is all.
I'm not going to entertain
it's
you
nothing
anymore.
serious about it. But despite the physical attraction, I think when we're younger, we're a little teeny tiny bit more immature, and you don't do as much just assessment of yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And there isn't much self-awareness there.
Yeah.
So we tend to confuse just little infatuations for love.
100%.
So I thought I was in love, boy. The second one is even worse, and I'll tell you that story when we come back. The first bad guy, I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I was a kid. The second one.
So we told you guys the things that we liked, but we're going to tell you guys our real life stories and just the dumbness of what we got into.
The stupidity.
Oh, God. So get ready, get some popcorn, and even better, share with us your stories on Telegram because we'd love to hear it. There is no judgment here.
Yes, you can stay anonymous.
And you can hit us up on our Telegram at Awaze Media, as well as on our social media under the same name. So don't go anywhere. We're going to come back with more here on All Things Business. Or why did I say that?
It's the Awaze.
It's the Awaze Show. Bye, y'all. I got to go to musical break. Bye.
Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to your new family. It's the Awaze Show with your hosts Fire and TG every Friday from 6 to 8 p.m.
The best music, entertainment, spicy topics, and so much more.
Awaze, let's spice it up.
Oh, well, welcome back, y'all. That was,
Bad boys, bad boys.
Yes.
What you gonna do?
It's all about bad girls, bad boys, the toxic choices that we make in terms of relationships on today's show.
We love it.
Me and TG are talking about our situations because we're going to keep it all the way real. Maybe many of you guys can,
Admit.
if you want to be honest with
Honestly,
yourself.
it is really relatable because if you haven't gone through a bad boy phase, what even were you doing with your life?
I think
you ain't had no fun, huh?
you know what happens if you don't go through it early, you do go through it later.
And that's catastrophic.
Especially when you are grown and you're learning these lessons, it is terrible. Because when you're younger, you can kind of bounce back a little faster. When you're older, ooh, that will take a toll on you. And so we want to talk about just our initial
Interactions with these people.
I don't want to call it love. It felt like it at the
Honestly, yeah, it did.
But we want to talk about
Maybe once.
yeah.
You're like, I doubt it. It's love is a very loose and fast term. We use it very different ways. So
I think with mine I mean,
initially, at least
initially.
it fades though.
It does, because do you believe in the concept that if you do fall in love with someone, it never goes away?
Now I've been in love multiple times.
Thank you.
When we're done, the love is, I don't know.
It's gone.
Why would I keep it? I don't need it.
You know when they say
anymore.
no love lost? No, it was lost. No, it's not here anymore.
I don't need it anymore. Why would I keep it?
Tell me about your experience with your first.
Before that, let's get to our text line.
Ooh.
Belen said, "Hey TG and Howie, hi Belen. That's my favorite name, by the way.
She does want to name her daughter Blaine.
I want to name my daughter Belen. I don't know what it is, but it's always been
It's a beautiful name.
in my spirit. Said, I just want to say this show is lit. I like the way you guys are so real. I can say that this show is therapeutic, and I really enjoy the vibe, the humor, the experiences you share during the shows. I sometimes be like, ooh, I can relate to that.
Aw, thank you, Blaine.
We love that. Thank you so much.
sis.
And then Nathaniel said, hey girls, I'm enjoying your program. And then he said, don't you think that there's some criteria that might be different from one to the other on a gender label? Like saying somebody's a bad guy or a good guy.
Okay. Yes, I do.
Yeah,
me
too.
I do believe that it even differs from person to person.
Yeah.
Which is why I was saying, like,
My first bad boy is not the same as my second
oh,
bad boy. They're
at
very
all.
different.
Like, but it's still the same lesson. It might not necessarily look like the same thing. It just comes in a different package.
Yeah.
But oh Lord, I think it got worse. Progressively got
You
worse.
got worse?
Yeah.
I think me too. It's definitely different. Like, to me, at this age, at this stage of my life that I'm on, if I say I wouldn't even say somebody's a bad boy or a good boy. It's either you're a good person or a bad person.
you have a lot of toxic ish that you need to work out on.
Yes.
Or you're trying to like find yourself. Like, I think it differs now in terms of how toxic you really want to be.
Yes. So when younger me, if you said bad boy, the first thing that comes to my mind would be, I don't know, tattoos or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like rugged, rough looking, like
Child.
charming,
Yes.
but like a hint of danger or something.
You should have saw her when she said a hint of danger. She like shrugged her shoulders. A hint of danger.
I was watching this podcast called Ish and Giggles, and they said when white people say tall, dark, and handsome, they're really talking about like Ben Affleck or something. And I was like, where's the dark? Like,
Where's the handsome? I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
But a hint of danger. I think that was what we had as
Who's
bad
tall,
boy
dark,
in
and
our
handsome to you?
Wow, I just really drew a blank. I'm not attracted to anybody at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's attractive right now.
Okay.
It used to be Pete Davidson.
Yes, guys.
You know me and my love for Pete. But even Pete, I'm over.
You know what? Me and TJ, we literally just are like, ooh, this guy's attractive. And we're like, child.
It's over. We're over.
It's over. It's so funny because we have no idea of these people. They don't know we exist. But still.
It's all right. But yeah, like I said, the whole bad boy term, generalized, it means emotionally unavailable, slightly narcissistic, a good chance they'll try to manipulate you.
100%.
And that whole personality they have is a facade. It's a thing that they can hide behind. At the end of the day, I think even the guys that think they're bad guys, you're just a sad kid hiding.
And you come
whatever.
to realize that later in life.
It's I'm like, you were hurt and you never got to deal with it, so you put it on everybody else. The first guy I dated, he wanted to rap, he wanted to be a musician, but he was born in an extremely religious household. His dad was a pastor, so he had to kind of like rebel. And there's always one in every family. There's always one that chooses a different life path. And so he like, besides his mom, the rest of his family kind of pushed him out or cast him out. So he really took that to mean it's just him against the world. And that manifested into everything that he was.
Okay.
The second person, he lost a parent at a very young age and didn't really have a male role model. It was him and his sisters. So he felt like he had to be hyper masculine to, make up for it. And he felt like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now I see it as you were hurt and you never dealt with it. And you thought this was the best way to put that performance into. So yeah, there's definitely certain criterias. And we're trying to tell you guys about these things because, one, it's funny, but two, it can genuinely be dangerous. Because hurt people.
Oh, yeah.
And not just emotionally.
Interestingly enough, the first guy that I dated, I've realized every single guy that I...
Trash. Hey, shit.
Trash, yes. But every guy that I dated who I considered a bad boy, I also wanted him to be smart. He had to be an intellectual. Because if you weren't bad and smart at the same time, then you're...
That's so funny. They were probably the smartest person in their class.
What is that? Because then
so
to
funny.
me, it's like, I know you have a head on your shoulders, but you purposely go against the crowd. Like,
that's so
you're
funny.
intentionally rebellious, but you're still not an idiot. Like, for me, like, that was attractive. And so first guy that I dated was that. And, just... came from, a family in which he had to be, like, well-to-do, came from a family of, like, everybody was a doctor, so him too.
Pressure.
Yeah, and dad was, really, smart, educated doctor as well. Second guy I dated, also a doctor. And so I was like, what is up with me and doctors? And so...
Mine turned out to be bums eventually, but they had potential. That's the weird part, is you see potential there. And I think potential is one of the biggest tricks a person can play on you. Because if they don't... And we've been told we have potential and done nothing with it before. So you see people going down a certain path. So all that potential means nothing at the end of the day if it's not applied.
Same.
Both extremely smart, but never really did anything with it, which now I realize.
Exactly. But the first guy, I think what messed me up was the fact that, you know, he told me that he had issues. Like, he's like, you know, like, just going through really hard things, just trying to, like, you know, go into therapy, and I have to, like, you know, get my thing, like, you know, my ish together. And I'm like, oh, you're trying, though.
Poor baby.
Oh, poor baby was me. Child, I suffered.
That's so
and I was like, let me save him. I should have saved myself. Oh my God. And that was a ride that I could not have expected it to turn out the way that it was. Yeah. Second guy, you know, he wasn't in that, you know, bracket, but still, the whole, like, he's unattainable. You know what I mean? Just very out of our league. Looked very cool. Just very, you know what I mean, serious. I was like, Pikachu, I want you.
I choose you, Pikachu. Come here.
And so, again, just going back to, you know, what was said, there are different versions of quote-unquote bad guys. They don't all look the same, but
They
there's
don't all act
something
the same.
that there's a characteristic that is somewhat similar. And that's what I mean.
Yeah, so as I was reading, I found that evolutionarily speaking, scientifically speaking, there is a slight explanation for why we're attracted to the quote-unquote bad boys. And it says that evolutionarily, like, unconsciously, we're attracted towards them because the more masculine a man is, it's expected that his genetics will be better.
Right.
That's science. That's not me. I didn't say none of that. But science does say our conscious chooses who we want as a partner. Our subconscious kind of dictates who we're attracted to.
And most of the
so
time,
you can't force yourself.
even biologically, when you look at it, like, all of the women want the guy that, like you said, who's the better hunter, like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Who has, like, the best, like, features, or who's able to be, you know, the best provider, or the best, you know, I guess,
Whatever
it is.
Really, like, we're really acting like cavemen
We're
still.
competing for the best kind of man.
Still.
It's just, you know, evolution-wise, we've just progressed into what we are today, but still every girl is going for the same kind of guy. Why? I know it sounds barbaric, but it's the truth.
And it's the good part. Don't get me wrong. Bad guys are not all bad.
No.
I'll give you what bad guys are good for. They allow you to not be a good girl.
What is that?
They don't have that expectation of purity and perfection and, like, you being...
It depends.
Does it?
It depends, because
Okay.
I've come across my guy friends who are just like, I want the girl next
That
door.
he settles down with, yes. The one that he has fun with.
Oh, yeah, no.
They want you involved in the debauchery, which other times you're not allowed to participate in because
Let's be Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah.
there's different standards for men and women when it comes to dating. It's the honest to God truth.
Yeah.
Men are expected to be fearless and out there and, like, desired or whatever. And women are expected to remain soft and innocent and good. You know what? I'm always like, I hate it.
I hate it here. We've been talking about, though, the bad guys. I think in the second half we should
We're going to
talk
talk about bad girls too.
Ooh,
Don't worry
child,
about it.
do not think we forgot about the
bad
girls, okay? Because this one is a tough one to watch.
I love it. It's so fun.
Oh, God. I don't know.
So the only good thing I can say about being with a bad boy was that it allowed me to be just a little bit outside of my normal, usual, rule-following, straight arrow, like, good kid that studied and listened to her parents and didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
When I was with them, I felt just as badass.
But you
know?
still kept all the rules, but they made you feel like you were living
I
on
broke
the edge,
some.
dating these guys?
Yes, while I was with them, it really made me feel like I was free and I was capable of doing some messed up. Like, I really wanted to go up to a ledge and jump off just cause. Like, it made you want to be bad. And honestly, I think every woman needs a little bit of that in her life. Don't do nothing that you can't come back from.
I'm an adrenaline junkie, so I like roller coasters. I like when cars, you know, drive really fast. I like feeling as if I am living on the edge.
See?
And dating guys like this made me feel like I was living on the edge.
Exactly. So a part of me cut loose, and I liked it. I liked it.
So dumb, y'all. We're going to continue on with this topic in the second half. Again, like we said, we're going to talk about bad girls and just even experiences that we've seen, and we're talking about all sides of the spectrum. So don't hesitate to hit us up on our Telegram at Owaze Media. You can also find us under the same name on all social media platforms, as well as check out our YouTube page, y'all.
Holla at us.
So we're done with the first half of the hour.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
This time flies.
And we've missed being here. We haven't been here for a while.
Yeah, we want 2 more hours, so if we can make that happen, that'd be great.
We might. You never know. You never know.
We're going to head off for the news, but we will be back for the second hour in just a little bit, so make sure to stay tuned in. When we come back, Bad Girls.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Bad Girls.
I'm a fan.
And I'm going to play the song as a, transition into the second half of the hour with Usher, Bad Girl.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere, y'all. See y'all in a bit.
Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to your new family. It's the Owaze Show with your hosts Fire and TG every Friday from 6 to 8 p.m.
The best music, entertainment, spicy topics, and so much more.
Owaze, let's spice it up.
Yo, welcome back to the second half of the hour here on the Owaze Show on EBC 104.7. Talking about
Bad boys, bad girls.
toxicity, just how it's terrible in relationships. But before that, the really cool thing that me and you we've done on our show, and one of my favorite topics is our creativity series.
We need to bring back our creativity series, dog. I kept thinking about it, and I'm like, creativity in what?
Because we've talked about it, like creativity in visual arts, creativity in music, and fashion, and business, so many things.
Yeah.
And we wanted to keep expanding our creativity series. For those of you tuning in, if you have been, a part of the family since day one and have any ideas pertaining to creativity that you want us to talk about or, just dive into, hit us up. Hit us up on our Telegram.
And it's always great to see creatives being celebrated.
100%.
And that's kind of, one of the things that we came across was a new initiative called Keep Walking Africa Top 30. Ooh, it's a definitive list of next generational people that shape the culture. So the best part about it is it's like an African continent thing. And I'm seeing more and more shifting narratives and telling our own stories, and creatives that are speaking on behalf of Africa and affecting the region. And I love the fact that that's growing. We'll have some things to tell you as soon as we finalize them as well.
100%.
And how we're joining the creative space in Africa.
We've been talking about this for a while. I know we've been giving you guys just crumbs. We promise we will, give you guys a deep dive of what it is that me and TG are doing. But it's really cool because this initiative, it's that we came across as JW, partnering with Trace. And basically it's this theme that's called Celebrating African Creatives. And they're boldly pushing culture forward across not just the continent, but also abroad.
So I'm pretty sure a couple will be nominated from Ethiopia, or at least my heart hopes so.
So Rofnan and Scott Nati.
Yeah.
And that's really cool because these are people that we know.
Yes. We want to root for our people, but they are going to announce the nominees in October. And it's an audience vote type thing. So we'll get our chances to vote for people in the creative sphere as well. So it's a really great initiative. I'm happy there are more and more platforms for African creatives to be showcased, because we do not need to look to the west, to the east. We really have so much homegrown talent.
I mean, I just feel like there's a lot of untapped and unnoticed talent, because we know it. We just see that the rest of the world just hasn't, come to understand that there are gems, there are, diamonds up in Africa. So I'm really glad that this platform is giving, the ability for even people within our country to be able to be showcased and to be seen as, just not talented in Ethiopia, but in the continent as well as across the world.
It really is a big deal.
So we're going to keep you guys posted on this.
We'll let you know when nominations happen. We'll let you know who the locals are that make it to the nomination list. But definitely shout out to everybody that makes these things happen, like JW and Trace. Yeah, definitely keep shining a light on local talent. And for all of our audience, if you guys have a creative field that you want us to be showcasing, like we said, we've done music. We haven't done movies. Mostly because
I'm not really a big
industry,
fan.
yeah.
And this has been something, if I'm going to be honest with you about, that's been on my mind a lot more recently. The cinema,
Industry.
sector within our country. I just have so many questions.
Yes, but like, I don't want to say friend, but a person I know, an Ethiopian, actually made a documentary and ended up winning an Emmy.
Ooh?
Yes, her name is Hadra. Shout out to you, dog. I'm gonna reach out to her and try to get her on the show.
Yo.
Because filming a documentary in Ethiopia with local resources and going on to win an Emmy, to me, that's
An international
insane.
Emmy?
And I think she's from like Jigar or something. And I saw pictures of her back home, like Jibale and Tafa and their shirit and her whole family, and her like showing them the Emmy. A part of me was like, this brings me so much joy.
You guys heard it here first. We're going to try to get her on the show. As someone who's in love with documentaries in my heart,
You'd love her. I'm sure you would.
I'm looking forward to this. So we're manifesting that. Remember the show, y'all. And
I'm going to show you the pictures just so... like, it sits with your heart. This is the happiest thing I've seen all week. Look at you. Howie's lost for words at the moment. Do you know her? Is that why you're freaked out?
no, it's
Okay,
just...
but the pictures...
oh my God.
So, besides the film industry, if you guys want us to showcase any other sectors of creativity, we would love to continue our creativity series. The look on Howie's face is everything, bro.
You guys, I'm like literally looking at the girl showcasing her Emmy to her family.
This is a hijabi Ethiopian.
Like, they are so adorable.
Right?
Like, I'm looking forward to just having this conversation in person. I hope that happens, TJ.
Me too. I'm gonna work on it. I'm working on it. You guys got it. But yeah, more creatives, please.
Yes, and like
He
we
said,
said,
thank you.
It's called Keep Walking, and it's Africa's top 30 list. We'll talk about it in the weeks to come. As we said, the winners will be revealed in October.
Yeah, nominees. Nominees are gonna
Nominees.
be revealed in October. So we'll keep you guys updated so we can vote and make sure Ethiopia wins. We're biased, obviously.
Obviously.
For obvious reasons, we're a little biased.
But welcome back again. Second half of the hour, we're talking about in today's show toxic relationships.
Yes, and bad boys and bad girls, and why we just find them so scrumdiddlyumptious.
Delicious.
Why did I use that word?
Oh my goodness. It's funny. It's true. The first half of the hour we talked about bad boys and just our experiences, and we said the second half we talk about bad girls.
Yes. Do you consider yourself a bad girl?
It is so ridiculous when we say bad boy, bad
Whoever
girl.
is listening to this is don't go there.
Oh God.
Don't get excited. That's not okay.
You can replace it with a toxic, guy, toxic girl. We can say it in that way.
But are you though? Do you consider yourself, or have you ever been in any of your relationships?
The toxic girl?
Yeah.
No. I know that I've done toxic things in the sense that there's certain like arguments or certain situations in which maybe I didn't make the best decision.
Okay.
But overall, I wasn't, or at least I believe, I wasn't your typical toxic. I just allowed toxic behavior, which essentially means I was toxic then.
Sort of, kinda.
Yes.
Is your answer. I have in one instance, not necessarily bad, but I was very emotionally unavailable. It wasn't what it was for them. That's not what it was for me.
Oh?
That's not at all what I was on. But here's the thing I believe. So 2 things about me. One, I genuinely believe that the ability or the capability to do evil, whatever a man can do, a woman can do twice as bad. We have an immense ability to love and heal and protect. But you have to understand that comes with a darker side where we have an immense ability to do bad, to hurt, to manipulate, to, you know what I mean? We have, the duality is beautiful. are very complex little creatures, and I've seen women that are like light, like actual light. That's what they feel like. And I have seen women that are extremely dark, and I'm scared for my safety.
Yeah.
So whatever a bad guy could do, a bad boy could do, well, a bad girl could do a lot worse.
Especially when I think the girl initially doesn't come off as quote unquote bad or toxic, because we've seen those too, right? Where she's just sweet and she's lovable, and then the switch takes place and you're like, oh,
Who are you and what have you done?
because I do believe that, you know, even in our own experiences, the guys that we were dating who were quote unquote bad boys or toxic, they weren't at first.
Yeah.
Oh, they were sweet. They were lovable. They were kind. You know, they cared for us. And then the switch occurred. And I think that's almost as if it's kind of like the blueprint for every toxic relationship. There is a switch.
Yeah.
You don't know when it takes place, but I guess it happens essentially when you're already in love with that person, that you're already going to handle all the BS they throw at you. And so I think that's the same thing when it comes to bad girls or toxic girls.
Yeah. So here's the funny part. As with everything else, a little bit of sexism is sprinkled into the whole idea of good girl, like bad guy, bad guy, bad girl. So what you define as a bad guy is an emotionally available, manipulative, distant, cold, a bit of a rebel. Those are the characteristics. When they describe, or when what people think as a bad girl is sexually promiscuous.
Yeah.
Like, is okay with her body, embraces her sexuality.
It's confidence borderlining that, right?
So what people think is a bad girl, or if that specific name is given to women that are more or less free from the idea of being a good girl, where they don't feel the necessary need to be perfect or live up to society's standards. So as soon as you step a line outside, all of a sudden you're a bad girl. And the way they're labeled is very different.
Yeah.
So I don't want you guys to think that we're talking about bad girl in that sense, in the sexist sense.
No.
We're talking about bad girl as in you get a certain level of satisfaction from being emotionally closed off.
Yeah.
You get a certain level of satisfaction from preying on maybe gentler men or nicer men, like genuinely nicer men, and manipulating them into getting what you want.
Oh, yeah.
You're the love bomby type, where initially you're very sweet and caring there, and then eventually you literally turn into a demon. An absolute demon.
We know
so
a
that's
couple
the
of
version
those.
of
Yes.
that's the version of bad girl I'm talking about. And I had my bad girl phase.
Oh?
Not this is gonna be hard.
You're like, I'm not proud of this?
For most of my life I've tried to be a good person, but there was a phase in my life where and I've said this before, if a guy talked to me, I would talk back. And I've found genuine satisfaction in creating affection towards me. So I wanted everybody to love me, regardless of if I cared about them or not.
Yeah.
So I didn't necessarily need to reciprocate it to play my part, which is insanely manipulative.
Hold on.
I could say the right things and act a certain way and flirt and, spend time with you and show you a certain level of affection.
Yeah.
And the second I saw that you were absolutely obsessed, I would just be like, ew, what? What is this? Why are you like this? Barely even know me. Oh my God.
Oh, God.
You must be crazy. Why
But
are
you know
like
what? That
this?
is the blueprint that a lot of
Yeah, why
a lot
are you
of
so
girls go.
obsessed with me? Oh my God.
But it's delusional.
Okay, I laugh. I know it's bad, you guys. I know that's just such a terrible thing to do. And I run into some of these people. At my grown age, I run into some of them, and I break into a nervous sweat because I'm like,
I did you wrong.
I'm so happy you moved on with your life and you're in a good place now. 'Cause
Yeah.
the way you was acting around there, I was a little worried that you might not come back from that one, because men hold on to these things.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. Younger me. So younger me, guys, high school, I was the nerd. I did not give a lot of attention to like relationships and stuff like that back in high school because I had a mission. I was like, we're grades, college, like this is where we're at. And it's funny because even a girl that I went to school with, and we still keep in touch now, we're still good friends. She was like the track star, like, you know, she was one of the jocks, and we were good friends. But I was like the nerd, like took college courses in high school, like super nerdy. And she was like, bro, she was like, you were a nerd back in high school. I was like, yeah, I was. But I was the kind of girl that there were guys though on the scene.
Yeah.
And the guys that were into me though, I was like, I just want to be friends, but I like them, but I'm shy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And the fact that I was able to get those men to, I guess, reciprocate the feelings that I had made me feel good. But the moment that I went too far, I was like, I don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. I don't like this. I don't want to talk to you. Like, I will ghost you. Yeah. And my sister Alco called me out. She was like, why are you like this? She was like, the moment that they're hooked, you're like, ugh, like, I don't want to talk to them. Leave me alone. I don't know you. I'm not going to pick up your calls. She was like, stop this.
Yeah. I got offended when they showed affection, even though I'm the reason you, like,
This is emotional unavailability.
Yeah. So yeah, we both had our phases.
Yes.
To this day, I still don't know how to apologize to a specific person.
No, I'm like, I was a child.
Friend.
I was like, I'm a child. I didn't know any better. Leave me alone. No.
I wasn't. This is like campus. So I dated their friend, knowing damn well they liked me. Their friend was a douchebag and ended up cheating on me. I don't know if they necessarily would have been a better person to date, but we all do it, girls. Like, you might have grown out of it and evolved out of it now, but we all have this, like, we like the attention to a certain extent, especially when you're younger.
Yeah.
You want people to find you attractive, especially if you don't feel attractive to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, if you feel like you're not pretty, it becomes a mission to go out and convince other people that you're pretty.
Oh, yeah.
And if you think you're not worth it, you want to prove to other people that you are worth it so that you can see that reciprocated back.
Right.
And I get it. Look, there's some broken about me, but at that phase of my life, I genuinely so many people. It's not like one person. It was like 5, 6, 7, 8 people.
Right.
And they got over it, it was never that like deep or that serious. But 1 or 2 of those people genuinely fell in love. And I had, it was never a place I was going to go to. I was just bored. And I was being a bad girl. Look at that. So one of them I genuinely want to apologize to this day. I just want to be like, I'm just like, my bad. I was a kid and I messed up, and that was a really shitty thing for me to do.
Yeah.
I hope you're good in life. I hope you've gotten past that, because it took them a very long time to let that go.
Right.
And we talked about it. Men don't love as easily, but when they do,
they're devastated.
It takes them a very long time to get over something.
Yeah.
So that one, the thing is, his name is my name with a U at the end of it.
Oh.
Which is so funny. We even had the same name. And my friends used to make fun of it. But yeah, I didn't flirt too much, but I flirted enough. And I shouldn't have done that, knowing damn well this person is interested in me.
Yeah.
So the first step is admitting it. The first step is recognizing that you can hurt people. Like, your
sometimes
actions,
you don't admit it.
Yeah,
sometimes people have to call you out on it.
Your actions really do have consequences, and it's not all fun and games.
No, for me, I wasn't at that point where I was woke enough to know that my actions were detrimental to other people. Somebody like my sister had to call me out on it. She was like, stop it. She was like, what are you doing? If this is the kind of person that you think this person is, if you sense it even in the beginning, don't walk into the situation. Don't entertain it. She's like, stop.
Cut it out.
Like,
but that's how I got my fiance. I entertained it, and now we're here. At first, I wasn't doing it on purpose, but then later, I was like, "Ooh, I saved you for a rainy day. Come here." That's how I ended up married. I was in a relationship when I got to know my
This is an exception to the rule.
This is an
TG.
exception to the rule. I'm not saying have backup boyfriends. That's not what I mean. That's what he calls them. He'll be like, you always used to have backup boyfriends.
Oh God,
It's true. I did. I always had backup boyfriends.
it's called the hook. Every girl has the hook.
somebody ready, like, for that relationship to fall
On
apart.
the hook that they can pick up when something, and it's like every girl,
Yeah, it's
every girl has
dangerous.
at least a couple of guys that she's like, oh, I can call up this person, which
Yeah.
is crazy. But
I
it's the
could call
truth.
you for a rainy day, but it takes a lot of growth to understand that it's toxic.
Oh, yeah.
It takes a lot of growth for you to be like, even when you're attracted to a person, to be like, I'm in a relationship, I am happy, I'm in love.
Yeah.
So why do I feel this urge to continue to talk to this person, knowing damn well they have feelings for me?
It's these bad, strong habits. They're not easy to break.
They're not. They take a lifetime, I'm assuming.
But we're sitting here not trying to, like, in the first hour, yes, we were talking about how we were attracted to such people. In the second hour, we're telling you, don't act like you're above it all. It's very, very
Admit it.
possible to be the other person who is pulling the strings and, being the puppet master.
Yeah, puppet master is super, super easy to do too.
Yeah.
And honestly, from what I have understood, men are just as gullible. They're just as easy to, like,
Yeah.
manipulate, if you, like, have the energy to keep it up, that is.
Oh, yeah.
It requires a lot of energy to keep that going.
Or-
Which is why halfway through we're like, ugh.
But the thing is, a lot of times, it's a little bit of energy for maximum, effort. Like, a maximum, impact, I guess. So you're like, oh, I just have to, be sweet and be kind and then not care.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that is narcissistic and toxic. And here, we're just trying to encourage you guys, don't do it.
Don't do either way. Bad guys, bad boys, definitely work on the psychological issues that are causing you to act in these ways.
Yeah.
You do end up hurting a lot of very good women that love you, and you leave sort of an impact. Like me and Howie are the dust yourself off and try again type of people.
Yeah.
Like, nothing phases us, but I've seen a lot of women be scarred for life.
Yeah.
And never really truly get over dating somebody like that. So definitely work on whatever childhood issues or psychological issues or mental issues you got going on with you.
Yeah.
So that you don't keep passing this sickness on to everybody.
100%.
Hurt people. So don't cause a cycle. Don't cause a chain of reactions to happen. As for women, my very biased female opinion, definitely don't play with people's feelings. Playing with people's money, that's different. I can't judge you for that.
Don't play with people's feelings, but money's a different topic. I can't with you. I can't with you.
There was a point in time where I was like, gold diggers, oh my God, I can't stand them.
Now I understand them. I
Get your bag, sis.
I used to judge.
You're being paid for services. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
this is it's a business. It's work.
We're
I
saying
guess.
that we understand. We're in a place in which we have broadened our perspectives, okay?
Yes, I'm not encouraging it.
By
I don't
any
think
means.
your plan A should ever be to marry rich or date rich men so that you can take their money, because it's not a sustainable business plan.
Or a life plan?
Yeah, it leaves you in certain situations where you no longer have control over your life or your body.
Yeah.
And it's the stuff that women have to do to be gold diggers is not it. At least for me, that is not a life I want to live.
I'm telling you guys, it seems glamorous and it seems just very
You
flashy.
only see the vacations.
You only see the highlight reels.
Yeah.
You don't know what happens behind closed doors, but it's really
They
rough.
pay for it in other ways. If that makes sense. But
I'm done with this shout.
in, like, psychological ways is what I mean. But yeah, like, this is a very biased opinion. I am a woman, and so get your money, boo boo is a energy I have towards women, as long as they're not hurting feelings.
Yes.
Or hurting genuinely good people or manipulating people.
100%.
Everything else, they knew what the transaction was.
Oh, yeah.
I don't feel sorry for nobody.
No, nobody. But this is just for those of you who are tuning in and maybe you needed confirmation that maybe I am in this relationship, or maybe I am this person, or maybe you're looking back and you're like, oh, I've come a long way. wherever it is that you fall on the spectrum, we hope that this has entertained you in some form or another.
Evaluate yourselves.
We're all about reflection, transparency, and evaluation on the Oaze show. My mom used to always have me like watch sitcoms, and at the end she'd be like, "What'd you learn?"
What was the point of that story?
I was like, "Mama, to laugh." I wanted to laugh, Mama. But
it's a good time.
Right. But sometimes in life you're like, "Oh, I'm laughing," but I'm like, what did I take away from it though? Did it benefit me? Did I learn something about myself? And we're hoping that just a little bit you took something away from today's show. And with that, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yes, sir. Do you have final words, final messages for the people?
I want to say that, sometimes...
To the bad boys you dated?
For me, I was the girl that, stopped the cycle. I think once I stopped the cycle was because I got my heart broken one too many times. Before I was like, but one time, the last time it was like, ooh, this one, like, my heart can't take another one of these kind of men. I can't. Now I understood just how fragile my heart is, and to come back to a place of peace and stability and just oneness, wholeness was not easy. And I was like, okay, I need to be careful with the energy that I surround myself with, who I am, what I allow. And so I think for those of you tuning in, just be mindful that, it sounds fun and all when you're younger, but even if you're younger, it's just a waste of time.
Yeah, you could do it one or two, but that should be the limit.
Unfortunately,
it's a healthy dose.
We don't do that, do we?
No.
So that's just my takeaway. Like, I hope that you don't have to be like us and learn again and again to the point that you're like, yikes. But yeah, that's mine. What about you, my love?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same thing. It's all fun and games when you're younger. Definitely make sure to not get into things that you can never come back from. Like I said, people ruin their entire lives by being associated with the wrong people. That's what I mean by it can lead to dangerous things. All fun and games. Definitely do your little reflections.
For sure.
And especially as you get older, be more mindful of, am I really genuinely thinking that this is a great partner, or are my ovaries just excited to see you?
Yo, man, these are deep conversations to have with yourself.
It's as simple as that. Like the crush that you have right now, what's going on with that?
And don't look at it through like rose tinted glasses. Is he really ish?
Is he? Or did you make it up in your head?
I know, man.
And to like younger me, you were dumb as hell, but you learned some lessons that definitely helped me grow today. That's why I don't tell people don't ever date a bad boy. Yeah. You need to learn them lessons.
Sometimes that's the only way to learn. Life has to be a teacher. We just don't want you to learn it too many times.
Yes.
But it might have to be once or twice.
Yeah.
But with that, y'all, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next Friday, same time, same place.
Guests too. So next Friday is the end of September.
Yes.
September is Alzheimer's month.
Woo.
So next Friday we are actually having guests from Alzheimer Ethiopia. It's an NGO that has started in Ethiopia.
Yes.
For those of you that are like, what is Alzheimer's? Well, you're gonna find out.
You're gonna have to tune in to next week's show. So make sure to tune in next Friday, 104.7, same time, same place. And as usual,
stay hydrated,
make good decisions. Awazi out. Bye.
Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to your new family. It's the Oaze Show with your hosts Fire and TG every Friday from 6 to 8 p.m.
The best music, entertainment, spicy topics, and so much more.
Oaze, let's spice it up.